Hey guys, RyanPhamFitness, and today we're going to talk about Nutrition 101 with me. Today we're going to talk about calories, flexible dieting, macros and macronutrients, body type, meal timing, and meal prepping. So let's start off with calories. Calories are essentially the most important thing no matter what kind of diet plan you're on, what kind of diet thing you're doing, whether it be Jen and Craig, keto, carb cycling, this, that, whatever, it all comes down to calories. So whether you're in a caloric surplus or caloric deficit, surplus is when you're gaining size, it's deficits when you're losing weight. It's all about calories, so calories in, calories out. To gain size, you have to be eating more than what you're burning a day. And to lose weight, you have to be eating less than what you're burning a day. And to find out what you're burning a day, I'm going to put a link below to find your BMR. And what BMR stands for is the base metabolic rate. It is what you essentially burn a day by just doing nothing. So I'm going to put it down there, you just put your information in and you'll find like a generalization of how much calories you're burning a day. And the whole purpose of this is about fat loss. I'm going to talk more about the fat loss size and then building muscle size. To burn a 1 pound of fat, you have to burn 3,500 calories a week. I hate saying a week because your body doesn't run off like 7 days a week. Your body just does it over time. But since there's 7 days a week and there's 4 weeks a month, that's how we're gonna do it. So if it takes 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat, that means you should be eating at least 500 calories less than what you're burning a day, which is your BMR, to lose 1 pound of fat per week. If you're a person who's just focused on losing fat, you could, try to lose 1 to 3 pounds a week. I wouldn't suggest going more than 1.5 pounds, just so you could like maintain that quality muscle mass you do have. But other than that, it's your choice, it's your life, you can do whatever the heck you want. But that is how many calories it takes to burn 1 pound of fat, 3,500. Next, we're gonna talk about flexible dieting, or if it fits your macros, Iifym. I'm gonna put it somewhere over here. But flexible dieting means you can eat whatever you want and not feel guilty about it. Because we all feel guilty about eating that slice of pizza or the ice cream. And we cry about it and we just give up, right? I want some ice cream now. You can eat whatever you want and still meet your fitness goals, whether it be losing weight or gaining size. You can eat that slice of pizza, that ice cream, that hot dog, the hamburger, and still lose weight. There's actually a study where this guy ate nothing but I think it was brownies and cookies, and he managed to lose 5 pounds a month, I think is what it was. I forgot what it said it was. I have to look it up later on. It's amazing. It's what I do. I tried, keto, which is eating nothing but proteins and fats. I tried carb cycling, which means you cycle your carbs up and down every day of the week. One day you have low carbs, one day you have high carbs. I tried this, I tried that. Macros is the easiest for me to do. It is essentially what everybody's doing right now. I'm not saying you should do it because everybody's doing it. I'm saying everybody's doing it because it works. So you're probably like, oh, what the hell are macros? I'll tell you what macros are. Macros are the best things in the world. The best things. Macros are life, macros is love, macros is bae. But really, macros are your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. Essentially what foods are all made out of. Those 3 things, sometimes all combination with 3 things, sometimes separated things, Essentially those 3 things make up food, and that is what packs the food with calories. So I'm gonna break down each macronutrient just a little bit for you guys to understand a little bit more. Let's start off with the most important thing, protein. For every gram of protein you eat, that is 4 calories per gram. And it is recommended you eat around 1 gram of protein per body weight you have, just to maintain the muscle you have and give it energy. So you're probably like, why do I eat protein? Why do I need it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Protein is what repairs your muscles and then synthesizes it to make new muscles later on so they're stronger and thicker and bigger. That's essentially what protein is. It's the holy grail of all macronutrients. It's what you should be always worried about eating. But generally, protein is very important. Carbs are generally just your fuel source. Your body burns carb relatively easy. It is your energy source. It's the first thing your body goes to when it looks for energy. But for every gram of carbs you eat, that is 4 calories per gram of carbs. It is the same thing as protein. So that's what carbs are, your fuel source. Fats are really underrated. People, when people think about dieting, they think about staying away from neither carbs or fats, which essentially is sometimes the case. But you still need the right amount of fat to regulate your hormones. And if your hormones out of whack, you're gonna be mood swinging left and right like a little 12-year-old child not getting their toy and throwing a tantrum. So a lot of people misunderstand fats. You still need to eat fat to lose weight. You can't avoid fats in general and expect to lose weight. Fats are your macronutrients, your 3 macros, the most important things. You still need to eat fats, guys. I can't get over how much fats you need to eat. I eat personally 81 to 85 grams of fat a day. For every gram of fat you eat, that is 9 calories per gram. So fats are more calorie dense, which is kind of why, you know, you should stay away from too much fatty stuff, because that's a lot of calories unless you're bulking or trying to gain size, and you know, fats are somewhat good. But too much fat is bad, too much of everything is bad. For fats, you should eat at least 0.5 fat per body weight you have. So since I'm 180 right now, I should be eating around 90 grams, but I'm eating around 80 just because I know how my body works, how it fluctuates. Those are your biggest, most important nutrients, are your macros. Those are what has the calories, those are what regulates everything. Micronutrients, which is like, you know, all your vitamins, your calcium, your iron, your zinc, your this, your that, your sodium. It's all relatively important. It's not as important as the macros, but you should also make sure you're getting a healthy supply of your vitamins, your nutrients, your minor nutrients. So, you know, like 1-a-day men or like multivitamins usually help if you're not like eating a lot of greens or you hate eating greens. You know, multivitamins are the most biggest important way to go. To track your macros, there's a good app called MyFitnessPal. It's what everybody uses. It's simple to use. You just pull it up, you press this barcode scanning thing, you scan the food you're eating, just punch in what you're eating, and it gives you all the nutrition, your micro and your macros and your calories. It tracks both calories, nutrition, and macros and micros. So I recommend you guys download that. It makes life so much easier. But those are the macros and micronutrients. And you're probably wondering, like, how do I find out how much to eat of each? Like, now I know what am I supposed to be eating and how to track them. Essentially, there are 3 body types that make up everybody's body: an ecto, a mesmo, and an endo. And what you eat depends on what body type you are. We're not just one body type. We're a mixture of maybe 1 or 2 or even all 3, but we are predominantly one body type more than the other. So I'm gonna explain each one a little bit more and what you should be eating to meet your fat loss goals for that body type. Ectomorph, which is usually like the skinnier, slender guy with the small shoulders, smaller chest, always has a 6-pack, can eat all the junk food in the world and still lose weight. Usually those are like the basketball players to me, you know, the tall, linkier ones, the skinny ones. They usually have a faster metabolism, so they could burn fat a lot easier, but since they have such a fast metabolism, it's really hard for them to put on quality and muscle size. All the junk food you can eat, but you're still not getting that good a size. It's a win, but then it's a loss at the same time. Since you're an ectomorph, if you think you're an ectomorph, like you're always skinny, I don't think fat loss would be your problem, honestly, so this has nothing to do with you. But if you're wondering how to gain size, your body weight in protein. So if you weigh 160, eat 160 grams of protein, maybe even a little more, like 170. You honestly just have nothing to recommend. You just have to eat food. That's how you gain size. Just make sure your protein's on point. That's all I have to say about the ectomorphs. The mesomorphs, on the other hand, which I consider myself to be the more broad shoulders, the tighter frame, and you know, all that good stuff. I consider myself more of a mesmo ecto because I find it hard for myself to gain muscle, but kind of easy for me to cut down. But usually the mesomorphs are like your football players, your most athletic guys, the guys with the V taper, you know, the genetic kings, which I would consider them. I mean, I'm not considering my a king. I'm still pretty fucking shitty. But other than that, usually the mesomorphs have a harder time losing weight and gaining size, but they can do both adequately well. They don't have a struggle in it. They could do both. So it's kind of like, here's the line. They can go both ways pretty easy, but not too easy. For fat loss for a mesomorph, what I'm doing for me is I'm eating my total caloric intake, 40 proteins, 30 fats, and around 30 or less in carbs. For an example, for a mesomorph cutting, for me, I'm cutting around 2,300 calories, and right now my proteins are around 235 proteins, my fats around 80 grams of fat, and carbs around 170 to 180 grams of carbs. So to lose weight as a mesomorph, you want to keep your proteins around 40 to 50% of your total caloric intake, your fats no more than 40% of your caloric intake, and the rest of it in carbs. Just because our body has a harder time burning carbs than the ecto does. Endomorphs are usually the more rounded shaped guys, the more usually like, you know, they eat food and they gain size, they can't lose weight. They can put on muscle pretty easy, but they can't burn fat. Usually they're the more chubby looking guys. I consider them the power lifters, or I guess the sumo wrestler if you want to relate it to sports, or the linebackers of football. To lose, and I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're probably an endo or a mesmo. So for an endo, to lose fat, your macros would look around like 25 to 50% from proteins, 15 to 40% of it from fats, and the rest from carbs. You really want to stay on the lower carb side. Those are your macros to lose fat, roughly. To me, an endo, if you want to prioritize on losing fat, I recommend looking up a ketogenic diet, which is where you eat mainly fats and proteins, and it switches your body's nuclear structure into using fat as an energy source instead of carbs. I did keto for a little bit. It worked good for me because I plateaued, and it actually helped me lose a couple of pounds. And you can still use macronutrients to track your calories and your macros for keto. So I'm sorry if I didn't go over it too well. I'm just kind of touching the tip of it a little bit, just giving you an example of what I'm doing and my nutrition. But next, we're gonna talk about meal timing and meal prepping. So meal timing, everybody believes that you shouldn't eat past 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever it is, eat every 2 to 3 hours, this and that, this and that. It is your life. You can do whatever you want. You could eat at 3 o'clock in the morning. You could eat 3 big meals. You could eat 17 small meals if you really wanted to. It's your life. It's your body, you know. Everybody's body is so different that you work in different ways. You could train your body to do something. So I don't give a crap what you say or what other people say that you should eat 2 to 3 hours a day, you shouldn't eat past this time. You can do whatever you want and still meet your fitness goals. Me personally, I eat from 12 o'clock all the way to 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning is when my last meal is, usually 2 to 3. As you can see, I'm still losing weight. So don't let these people tell you that you can't do this. Now, when it comes to macronutrient timings, that's a different story. There's sometimes a right time and a wrong time to eat certain macros. Usually around the nighttime, I kind of stay away from carbs and eat more proteins and fats. So essentially, that's all I have to say about meal timing. You can eat whenever you want. You can eat as late as you want, but what I recommend is 2 to 3 hours, and whenever you can eat, just don't skip a meal, because to lose weight you still need to eat. You can't not eat food. If you eat too much food, you're gonna gain weight. If you eat too little food, you're gonna lose weight, but when you start eating it, you're gonna pack it on twice as bad. So you still have to eat. Just make sure you're eating all your foods by the end of the day. No matter what it is, just make sure you're eating your food at the end of the day. Do not skip out on meals. Most importantly, do not skip out on meals. Finally, meal prepping. How do I meal prep? I personally cook all my food every single morning. I don't like putting in Tupperware and putting in the freezer. I like my food being fresh. A lot of people don't have time to cook their food, so you can cook your meats in advance. It usually lasts, every meat usually lasts around 2 to 3 days. Uncooked, then you cook it another 2 to 3 days. You put in the freezer, your veggies, you know how food works, you know how they spoil. Meal prepping, Tupperware, this and that. Usually when I wake up, I'll have a good amount of carbs, and throughout the day, I'll lower my carbs down as the day goes on. We all know how to meal prep. We all seen it before. That's all I have to say about meal prepping your food. Just higher carbs during the day, then slower down the night. Other than that, everything should stay adequately the same. Keep all proteins during every meal the same, not too high, not too low. So yeah, in general, I'm gonna go over everything real fast. Calories. Track your calories, 3,500 calories, 1 pound of fat. Flexible dieting, eat whatever you want, track your macros, MyFitnessPal. Proteins, repair muscles, carbs, fuel source, fats, hormones. Proteins and carbs, 4 calories per gram, fats, 9 calories per gram. Body type, ectomorphs, skinny people, abs all the time. Now I'm gonna go through it a little bit more. I'm just gonna put a description in this box right here for each topic, just like a highlight real fast. So, calories. Just take it all in, guys. Just take it all in. Now, flexible dieting. Macros. Proteins. Carbs. And fats. Body types. Ectos. Mesmos. And endos. Meal timing and meal prepping, right here. It's me trying to fit all those things in like a small video for you guys, just to keep your attention long, because I know you guys hate long videos. But this is RyanPhamFitness. This is my nutrition 101. If you guys want more details on any of these topics or anything else, just drop a comment below and I'll make more videos, fast videos, just for you guys to know. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Double-digit thousands.